Hey people, it's Naya Stoke. Now, this is from TheGuardian.com. French couple take dealer to court for share of African masks, 4.2 million euro sales price. So, I don't know exactly the exchange rate. Maybe that would work out at least something plus $3 million. Pensioners sold rare object found in attic for 150 euros, but campaigners say must be returned to Gabon. A retired French couple who sold an African mask to a second-hand goods dealer for 150 euros, 130 pounds, have gone to court for a share of the proceeds of the mask fetched 4.2 million euros, 3.7 million pounds at auction. So actually that would be something, if working out the exchange rate from pounds, that would be like $4.2 million. But campaigners insist that the rare artifact instead should be returned to Gabon in a case that has raised questions over Africa's cultural heritage looted by colonial France. The unnamed couple, 88 and 81, who lived in Eure-et-Loir, southwest of Paris, had decided to sell their holiday home in Gard, southern France. When needed to clear out bric-a-brac from the attic, they contacted a second-hand goods trader who bought several objects, including the wooden sculpted mask, which had been gathering dust in the loft. The mask had belonged to the man's grandfather, who had been a colonial governor in Africa. 6 months later, the couple reported to have almost fallen off their chairs when they read a newspaper report about the sale at auction in Montpellier of a rare and valuable 19th century mask made by the Fang people of Gabon. They recognized the mask in the photo. Its distinctive style was described as having been inspirational for the artists Pablo Picasso and Amedeo Modigliani, and it was said to be one of only about a dozen in the world. The auction catalogue explained how the mask had been obtained by the man's relative, collected around 1917 in unknown circumstances by the French colonial governor René Victor Edward Maurice Fournier, 1873-1931, probably during a tour in Gabon. Probably just stole it, the way they steal everything. It's like they said in GTA Vice City, the French accuse me of being a thief. They have been looting poor countries for centuries. The sale had prompted excitement from art experts, with one auction house official telling French TV this type of mask is even rarer than a Leonardo da Vinci painting. We know of 22 paintings by the great master, but we only know of 10 to 12 masks created by the different Fang masters in Gabon. At auction in March 2022, the mask was initially valued at about 300,000 euros. It was bought for 4.2 million euros by an unnamed seller bidding by telephone. Members of the Gabon community in southern France attended the auction in protest, saying the mask should have never been put up for sale and must be returned to Gabon. A court in Ailes on Tuesday heard the case of a retired couple whose lawyer argued that they should rightfully receive the profits on the auction after handing over the mask to the bric-a-brac dealer for the unfair price of 150 euros. One has to be in good faith and honest. My clients would never have given up this mask at the price if they knew it was an extremely rare object, their lawyer, Frederic Mansat Jaffray, told French media this month. Solange Bizot of the collective Gabon Occitanie, who had protested at the auction with other members of the Gabon community, was in court on Tuesday. She said the mask was stolen at the time of colonization. All these works of art and so many that we see in museums were taken, and the people who made them were told they were the devil's work and they should instead believe in the Bible. And from that point on, these artifacts have appeared in Europe, enriching people who have made money for them from decades. Today, this court case is about the grandchildren of the governor versus a second-hand dealer. But neither of them is legitimate in terms of this mask. What we want is the restitution of this mask to Gabon. This mask has a soul. It was used to establish justice in our villages. The discussion in court has been about morality, but what about the morality of the spoliation of works of art and our dignity? Where is the morality in that? A court decision on whether the proceeds should go to the couple is expected in December. The French President Emmanuel Macron, after his first election in 2017, called for restitution of works of art for French museum collection, saying, "I cannot accept that a large part of the cultural heritage of several African countries is in France." So there's a lot to unpack in this. And first off, we want to talk about the talking point that white people use when it comes to reparations for black people. It was a long time ago that all the slaves are dead, therefore you do not deserve reparations. In 2023, they are selling stolen African artifacts and squabbling over it, demanding that they be paid for things that they stole. Just like in Black Panther, when Killmonger said, "Oh, so you bought it? You paid for it? Or did you take it like everything else?" They are fighting for things that they stole. I mean, I remember, I think it was a story about from Russia, that Russia had taken German works of art I mean, I say, what was it? Greek artifacts that had been looted from Berlin, and the German government was fighting with the Russian government to have it restored. And I'm like, you have two white nations arguing over things that they stole from another white nations. Like Kevin Samuel says, you can't make this stuff up. And so, you know what I mean? This whole reparations argument is old, and therefore it's not relevant, is completely false. They are fighting over things that they stole hundreds of years ago, and these things are worth millions. And this is just one mask. Can you think of all the labor, what is the value of all the labor that was extracted over the centuries? The value of all the intellectual ideas, creative ideas. You know, I was seeing a video, a post about how black people created various foods that are now very famous and are now mainstays of part of American cuisine. Yet they didn't receive any patents for that. There are many patents and technologies that black people did not receive, and they never received any money for it. So I want to put this story out there so that people know the reparations argument cannot and will not die. It is unacceptable that billions, if not trillions, is owed by white nations, white corporations, and white people to black people that was stolen, and they are now fighting over who should get it. They should both have it taken off them and have it returned to Gabon and all the other things like the Benin bronzes. And I want to say this. I want to say, and boycott France forever. Peace.